Time now to round up today's top stories in the exciting world of science with CTV's science and technology expert, Dan Riskin. Dan, good morning and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
Dan, good to see you. Okay, so we kicked off the top of the show this morning with news about the Peregrine in flight, but what strikes you about this mission?
Well, it's very exciting. The U.S. hasn't been to the moon since 1972. That is a long time, and this is the first time that a private company is landing on the moon. So that landing isn't scheduled until February 23rd, but the launch this morning went perfectly. The spaceship took off. It pushed the Peregrine lander out towards the moon, so it's on its way to the moon now. It's finished an orbit and a half of the Earth. And come February, we'll get to see this thing actually land on the moon. And this really is just like a preview of what's to come with the Artemis missions, where, of course, humans are planning to land on the moon and walk around and do all those fun things that haven't happened in 50 years.
Yeah, it's going to be so interesting to watch our kids, watch it on TV, kind of like we did in the 1960s. Well, I wasn't alive then, but we've seen the footage.
Neither were Dan or I. We watched it in the 80s, though. Yeah. Hold on there,
It's not just their kids, right? It's us. I feel like the generation before us really got this opportunity. And even our generation has been missing out. So it's coming. It's coming.
Okay, very cool. And, it is 2024. A lot of people making those New Year's resolutions. But, hey, apparently if you want to stick to them, you should turn it into an activity streak and then keep that game alive.
Yeah, exactly. So this is there's a psychologist who's written a really nice piece about how to sort of structure your New Year's resolutions so that you can achieve them. And the advice that they give is that you set it up in the way that a lot of video game companies trick you into using their game every day. It's to set up a streak and to say, okay, how many days have I done this for? So instead of saying, I want to get 5 hours of running every week, you say, I need to get at least 15 minutes of running every single day. Or I can't miss more than one day in a row. And I want to see how long I can keep that streak going. And if you set up your New Year's resolutions in that way, according to this scientist, you're in a better position to achieve those goals and keep the streak going longer than if you just sort of declared that you were trying to do better.
Interesting kind of way of tricking yourselves and sticking to it by streaking. All right, that is. I remember there was a big thing on was it Snapchat about streaks and like how many times you could go back and forth with people like 10, 15 years ago. All right, this may bring a tear to your eye, but did emotional tears, Dan, evolve to make other people less aggressive? This is like the most fascinating study.
It totally is, because it makes perfect sense that if I get dust in my eye, I cry because I need to get the dust out of my eye. But how come when I watch Marley and Me on a plane, I'm bawling out? Like, why is so much fluid coming out of my face? It makes no evolutionary sense unless there's some kind of function. And so researchers have been looking for this. And so in a new study, they tested the idea that the smell of somebody crying, the smell of tears, changes your behavior so you're less aggressive. And so if you cry, you actually make the people around you nicer to you. And so for this experiment, they actually collected tears from people watching sad movies, and then they had people smell those tears and then play video games, compared to people who smelled fake tears, just salt water, and then played the same video games. And they found a decrease of more than 40% in aggression levels within the video game. So this is strong evidence that when you smell somebody cry, it's like a pheromone. Wow. You may not notice the smell, but if somebody's crying in front of you, you pick up those odors and it changes your behavior so you're nicer to them. It's a very cool idea.
Yeah, that is fascinating. I used to think that, tears were invented because if we ever ran out of salt, we could just cry onto our food. Bingo.
Fries would be soaking wet, though. Yeah.
Salt and vinegar, baby.
Exactly.
Okay, that's gross. CTV science and tech expert Dan Riskin, always a pleasure. Thanks, Dan. We'll see you next week.
You always bring a tear to my eye. That's a great job, guys. Talk to you soon.
Right. Thank you.
Well, two Montreal teens are being hailed as heroes for saving a husband and wife from drowning during their trip to Barbados.
Zoe Ireland McClensick and Emma Basserman were boogie boarding when they pulled a British couple to shore. The girls are in the Barbados with Dorval Swim Club, and Emma is training for the 2028 Olympic trials. The people who were rescued were lucky to have strong swimmers nearby, that's for sure. And this morning, we are joined by one of the heroes, Zoe Ireland McClensick. Zoe, thanks so much for joining us. I see that you're still in the Barbados with all that sunshine beaming in behind you. So tell us exactly what happened in this situation. When did you know that something was going wrong out there?
Well, it started by, I was boogie boarding with my friend Emma, and I heard a faint yell for help. So I was looking around, and I saw a girl in the distance wearing a bright orange bathing suit, so it's pretty easy to spot her. So I immediately went out, and she told me that her husband was further out and that she needed a lifeguard. And I told her that the beach we're staying at, it doesn't have any lifeguards on it. So I put her onto my boogie board, and I pulled her back to shore by going parallel to the beach until the current wasn't so bad, and I went straight back in. And then I went out and got her husband and pulled him in by going parallel to the beach.
Wow.
Well, it's incredible. Now, Zoe, you and Emma are obviously strong swimmers here. You obviously are trained in how to swim, but in terms of life-saving and actually the sort of, precariousness of this, I mean, a lot of people, wouldn't necessarily do what you did. How did you have the confidence to think that you'd be able to pull like two adults out of the ocean who were drowning? Because that is a dangerous situation for yourself as well as them.
Yeah, that's right. But I would say that my adrenaline, it was pumping, and I just acted as fast as I could. And thankfully that saved 2 lives. But Emma and I tried to act as quick as possible to bring them to safety. But yeah, thankfully it saved 2 lives.
And the couple you saved, Belinda and Robert Stone, when you brought them to shore individually, what was their condition like? Did they need any kind of CPR? Did they need help?
No, they didn't need any CPR. But they were still in shock from what had happened. So they were breathing heavily, and they were thanking us a lot. They were very grateful for our actions.
Yeah, you saved their lives. There's no doubt about that. You can understand how thankful they were, Zoe. Yeah. So let's talk about the reaction. I mean, I know you've done some Canadian media, but what's the reaction been like in Barbados or at the resort? Can you and Emma walk around? Are you sort of getting showered with praise as you head around the resort? What's it like there for you right now as well?
Well, it's really great here. I love it in Barbados, but we are getting a lot of comments on it, positive ones. Yeah. And everybody's so proud of us, especially because in Barbados,
yeah, absolutely,
the population of people who don't know how to swim is 97%. They don't know how to swim, so it was really good that we were there at that time.
Yeah, Zoe, before we get to a clip of Belinda and Robert, I just want to know, how old are you and Emma?
I'm 13 and Emma's 14.
Oh, my goodness.
That is remarkable to think that you rescued people like that. So let's hear from the couple you rescued before we kind of let you go here. So hang tight, Zoe. We're going to listen to this, and then we'll get one final thought from you.
Okay.
I really feel like we got a good guardian angel looking over us.
A guardian angel looking over you. So Zoe, you're a guardian angel to some people. That is pretty amazing. Any final thoughts? What would you say to someone who saw people in distress? I mean, again, you're strong swimmers. What's your advice to people if you see something like this in their own lives?
Well, make sure you have something that they could grab onto, and make sure it's not yourself, because if you do give them your hand, they could pull you under.
Right.
So I recommend having a floatable item or something that they could grab onto, but check for if there are any lifeguards. Try to get their attention, but if you have to take matters into your own hands, be as careful as you can and as safe as you can, because not only are you risking your life, but you're risking theirs as well.
Okay, very wise words from such a young hero. Zoe, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your trip at the Barbados, and take care.
Congratulations. Thanks so much. Appreciate the time this morning. All right, new year, new resolution, and some new strategies, and one that we can all become better at, of course, is taking advantage of savings at the grocery store, which can be a frightening place these days.
So for a look at some tips is the coupon cutie, or Nicole. We welcome you back to the show. Maybe let's start with one of your first tips, which is something that's kind of old school, but hey, it's really picked up now that the cost of living is skyrocketed. So that is collecting coupons and hunting them down in stores.
Yeah, so we collect coupons. Usually they put new ones out every month or so at the stores. And it's great to collect them and have them in advance, because you never know when something's going to go on sale. So like last week we had found this yogurt coupon for $1 off, and this week it's on sale for $1.97.
So does that mean you get it for 97 cents?
Yeah, so, and my apologies, it's buy two, save $1. So
Right.
you would get it for $1.47.
Right. Okay. Good to know. All right. You know, those coupons, yeah, they can really add up. And again, they've got them in the store on the aisles there, so nabbing those can help. In the meantime, another strategy, Cutie, coupon Cutie, is the old price matching. You can use flyers or you can use apps.
Yeah, there's the Flip app, which is great because you can see all the different flyers in one place. And it's nice because you can look up all those prices, save them all in one area, and then price match them at one store. So you avoid going to all these different stores, searching all these deals, and just get it at one store.
Yeah.
Okay, and Nicole, next up, yeah, we have these cashback apps. I don't think I've ever used one, but is that like, you know how you see those ads for Rakuten? Is that what it is, basically?
Yeah, kind of same idea. So like Rakuten is for online shopping. We use Checkout 51. They usually have like grocery items. And so you go to the store, you buy the item, and then you can get like $2 cash back. And once you get to $20, you can cash out and they'll mail you a check.
And so how do they know that you've actually bought the program or bought the product, Nicole? Are you sending a copy of receipt? How do these apps know what you've done?
Yeah, so what you do is you can look through the offers on the app each week. You pick the item you want to go to buy at the store, go to the store, buy it, and then take a picture of your receipt, and that's how they know.
Okay,
Pretty
easy
simple.
enough. Yeah, I think I'm going to try that one. Next up, I'm a fan of this because I do have an Optimum card, and boy, do I use that baby. Okay, loyalty programs, but not all are created equal, but still worth it, right?
Oh yeah, like PC Optimum points has always been one of our favorite. There's also Scene points. Everyone loves a good redemption event at Shoppers Drug Mart and getting a whole bunch of stuff for free with your points. So it's great to collect the points because you can then get rewarded and get groceries for free, or whatever you want to buy or get with your points, you can get them for free that way.
And in some of these cases too, right, Nicole, you can really sort of plan what you're buying and load up on the points and kind of make forward purchases if you can, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So like I usually like to collect my points and then get like a haul for free. It just kind of depends on what you want to do with your points, but it's nice to be able to have that if you need to use the points, if you need a little bit extra.
Yeah, and of course the other growing trend here, Nicole, it's kind of a new one. It's like this quick expiry food programs where you can get discounts on foods that are getting close to kind of, being unsaleable almost.
Yeah, and it's great if you do like meal planning in that. It's great because they often have like fruits and veggie boxes that are about 50% off, and you can freeze that and then use it in the future. They also have things like quick expiry meats. Again, they expire quickly, but if you freeze them, they're good for such a long time.
And Nicole, before we let you go, I just want to say, for a lot of busy people, even remembering to bring their reusable shopping bag to the grocery store is hard to remember. So when you add on something like couponing and trying to save money, do you have to be really organized? Is this just a muscle you got to work in order to stay on top of it?
Yeah, I think it is a muscle you have to work, but I also forget my reusable bags. So but definitely couponing, you do need to organize yourself a little bit. And once you get into it though, you're like so excited, like what are we going to get free this week? What are we going to get for cheap? So it's so exciting.
And just really quickly before, one last question. You talked about price matching earlier. Are more and more stores getting on board with price matching to sort of get the customers in the store? Because I know there are some chains that just don't do it.
I haven't noticed any new stores doing it. Like Superstore does it, No Frills, Freshco, Giant Tiger. So there's a few. Walmart doesn't price match, but it just, no one new has started recently.
Okay.
Okay, Nicole, AKA the Coupon Cutie, thanks so much for joining us with your tips. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Well, what does one couple do when the decision comes to sail into the sunset? For a retired Ontario couple, Tori Carter and husband Kirk Rickman, they are literally doing so, cruising to each continent after they sell off their home and belongings.
And joining us this morning live from close to Uruguay right now is Tori Carter in her room on board a cruise ship. Tori, great to talk to you this morning. Let's talk about this leap you and Kirk made to decide, hey, we're going to sell everything and retire on cruise ships. Was that an easy decision or a difficult decision? Because really, I don't mean a pun here, but you are anchored to nowhere now.
That's such a good question. We loved traveling. Well, we always have loved traveling for years, and we always felt that the worst part of traveling was actually going back home, taking a flight back to Toronto. It became very expensive, and we just thought we liked traveling so much we would do one cruise after another. So it was almost kind of natural for us to just continue traveling, and because we love traveling so much and we feel it's more inexpensive to take each flight or hotels everywhere we go, that it was just kind of a natural decision for us to move on to a cruise ship.
And Tori, it certainly seems like a very kind of efficient way to see the world. You've been to 75 countries and territories already and expected to reach 88 by April of 2024 this year. So I got to ask you, what has been your favorite kind of part of the world so far?
Just 2 weeks ago, we were in Antarctica with the penguins, and we actually had an opportunity to see the world's largest iceberg seen by pretty much nobody, just explorers around the world and a couple researchers. So that iceberg is called A23A, and we had the opportunity to see that. So I would have to say, up until now, Antarctica really takes the cake. It was amazing.
I can only imagine, and I'm pretty envious of what you've seen. I suppose that's one of the pictures of it right there. Tori, I'm really curious about the economics of this, because you and Kirk, you're pretty young retirees here. Is this your entire retirement plan? Like, do you plan on, living out the rest of your days on board cruise ships, or how are you going to go about all of this?
Well, that's a good question. Kirk and I both had 2 full-time jobs each. So I was a realtor and also a high school teacher, and Kirk was working in a manufacturing plant and also a realtor. So we do have literally 4 incomes that we were drawing from. So I think we worked very hard to get to where we are. And in terms of what we're going to be doing in the future, I can say that we love traveling and we're going to continue doing it. Hopefully we don't get sick of it, but I guess the intention as of today, I would say, is that we're going to continue traveling for as long as we can, or as long as we want to.
Yeah, and very quickly, what do your friends and family say about this plan? Do they miss you? Do you ever come back and do little stints with them back home or something like that?
We went back to London, Ontario, where my mother lives, to celebrate her 80th birthday, which was actually in December. So we did her birthday and Christmas at the same time. And as we're connecting with other friends and family, we document everything on Facebook, and we have a YouTube channel. And so everybody's connecting to us through there, and they message us and they say, hey, that looks great. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Living the life indeed. Tori Carter, give our regards to Kirk. Thanks for joining us this morning from Uruguay. Enjoy that retirement. That looks just amazing.
What a great idea. Thanks so much. Have fun.
Are you looking for next level alcohol-free events in Toronto? This is your sign to grab tickets to Toronto's first mocktail competition. We're 6.
Well, perhaps for a lot of you watching this morning, Dry January is here. We're right in the middle of it. And Sober Social Club, Toronto's premier host of alcohol-free events, is toasting the month, really, with the city's first ever mocktail competition.
6 mixologists will compete to win the title of Toronto's best mocktail. And we're giving away 2 tickets so you can join in on the fun as well. So keep watching for more on this event. We're joined live right now by Renisha Monaco as well as Adam Samet. Adam, you're going to be one of the mixologists competing this weekend, but you're here right now to show us one of your signature mocktails.
Yes, so we did want to give you guys all a sneak peek ahead of tomorrow's event at El Mocambo.
Yeah.
We wanted to kind of give a nod to the legendary rock and roll history of El Mocambo, and obviously we've named it sort of accordingly. So our cocktail creation, or our mocktail creation, is entitled "By Let It Be," sort of a nod also to the band that did it the best.
Yes, the Beatles.
We sort of wanted to engage in a multi-sensory experience, so something for the eyes and the palate and all all of the senses. And this is really full of flower power. So we're first going to start. We're first going to start off with our cedars. It's a non-alcoholic gin, so it's a pink rose flavored non-alcoholic spirit. We've gone ahead and infused that with David's tea. It's a magic potion tea. So we've got indigo and butterfly pea flower in there. Really great color and flavor profile. We're going to mash up a combination of our pink guava nectar. We have fresh lemon juice. And sort of one of the star ingredients, at least, is our signature Delixir. It's a galactic lavender butterfly pea flower syrup. Sorry, that's a mouthful.
There's like sparkles in this.
There is.
And so, Adam, we'll let you get mixing up here right now. But
Manisha,
I want to get into kind of the nuts and bolts of the competition itself. How did the idea sort of come about, and how are you going to pull this off? It sounds pretty spectacular.
Yeah, so I started So Far Social Club a year ago when I decided to challenge myself to go a year without drinking. And during that time, I realized that there was a huge gap in the market, and people were really looking for non-alcoholic events that they can go to and still have a great time with their friends. And so I knew that this would be the perfect time to do it during dry January, when people are really trying to be healthier and kind of cut back on their drinking.
Just for you personally, Manisha, what was that year like for you? I mean, I don't want to get into necessarily your drinking background, but I mean, how much of a difference did it make to you to not drink for the year?
Honestly, it made a huge difference. I was like sleeping so much better, had so much energy, and I just felt just overall just so much healthier. So I really love that.
Right on. So Adam, tell us about the sort of process.
Yeah, so we're doing a combination right now of pink guava nectar, it's fresh lemon juice, again, our lavender butterfly pea flower syrup. We're actually going to layer our cedars infusion on top of our cocktail, sort of making sure that our featured zero proof is sort of the star of the show. We're going to sort of build an atmosphere as well on top of our creation with some fun garnishes. So we have our Ontario dried lavender sprigs, we got some dried lemon over there, an edible fresh flower. And we're gonna...
Keep going here, because you do this.
Oh, you have to shake it up.
Manisha, while I was mixing up, are there still tickets available, and how much are they?
Oh yeah, so people can still get tickets at sofarsocialclub.ca, and if you want to learn more, they can also follow us on Instagram at Sober Social Club Toronto, and there is tickets available. And they include 6 delicious expertly made mocktails. We have food from Frenchies. There's going to be a wellness market, activations, amazing prizes from our sponsors, and the winner is determined by the votes of the attendees. So everyone gets to vote for their favorite mocktail at the end of the day.
People's choice style.
And they will be winning a $500 prize pack from Cocktail Emporium, this incredible trophy, and
that's a trophy.
That's a trophy
I like
for the
that
winner.
trophy. That's really good.
And they get all the bragging rights for having Toronto's best mocktail.
And Renisha, let me ask you, why do you think people are, turning to more of this trend of doing non-alcoholic beverages?
So I think now more than ever, it's a lot easier to actually access non-alcoholic drinks, and they're actually way better than they were years ago. And I'm seeing a lot of different celebrities are actually hopping on this trend. Blake Lively, Katy Perry, Danny Trejo also have their own non-alcoholic products. And even celebrities like David Guetta are actually endorsing products like Liars. So you know that this is actually a trend that's here to stay.
This kind of reminds me of the scene from Love Actually when he's buying the gift for his mistress and Rowan Atkinson is sort of decorating all. There's a lot that goes into this.
There's a lot happening for sure.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure that if it was zero proof, at least we're creating an experience nonetheless.
Show us that final touch though.
Final touch here. We have our lavender infused. It's a smoke-filled edible bubble gun, and we're just going to drop a lavender infused bomb on top.
Oh my gosh.
Just for one last finishing touch.
Oh my gosh.
We got 2 of them there.
Can I try this?
Yeah, you go right ahead, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Please enjoy. Let me know what you guys think.
Look
Cheers.
at
I don't know how to
that.
drink this.
Cheers. Adam, good luck. Renisha, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys.
We have a giveaway before I
Oh my gosh, that's
enjoy
delicious.
this too much. We're giving away a pair of tickets for tomorrow's mocktail competition. To enter, scan the QR code on your screen. Enter at CP24.com/contest. Again, the code word. We always have a code word, of course, appropriately today. It's mocktail. Once again, scan the QR code on your screen or enter at CP24.com/contests with the code word mocktail. I will drink to this. Adam or Nisha, this is fantastic.
Thank you.
One more time, Jen. Fantastic. Good luck tomorrow night.
All right. Thank you very much.